Hello and welcome to Gardening 365 54 in the greenhouse. And here's a really interesting one for you. I wonder if you've ever considered this before or ever it's ever happened to you. I'll show you what I mean. And there we go. 7 absolutely free of charge tomatoes. And they'll go on and we'll have plenty of tomatoes off them, I know. Totally free of charge, even better. Now here's a question I always get asked lots of times at this time of year. And the question is, what's a side shoot and what do I do with side shoots in my tomatoes? I will show you. This is a side shoot. So this is the main stem here. And this is the main leaf growing out, or the branch, whatever you want to call it. And this bit that grows in between is called the side shoot. Now before you start taking any side shoots out whatsoever, you need to work out something. And what you need to work out is whether your tomatoes are cordon or bush. Now cordon means that they need the side shoots taken out, okay, to grow efficiently. Bush tomatoes, you leave the side shoots on for them to grow efficiently. Now the best way to find out whether your tomatoes are cordon or bush is just to go onto the internet, type the name of the tomato, and it will tell you. Or even put the question, is it cordon or bush? And you'll know. Now I'm growing mainly Gardener's Delight, which are cordon. I'm growing mostly Elsa Craig, which are again cordon. And I've got one or two other varieties. And I have got one bush tomato. So I will leave all of the side shoots on that, but take all of the side shoots out of all of the others. Now there's two ways to take out your side shoots. One is just to pinch them out with your hands. But depending on the size, some of them are a bit thicker. You might need to get a little bit of pair of secateurs or scissors just to cut them off. Try and cause as least amount of damage as you can when you're side shooting. So what I'm going to do now, here's a side shoot. I'm just going to get my thumb and finger and just nip it out. There's one over the other side there. Nip that out. Another one here. Nip it out. Just take all of the side shoots out on the plant. And if you're worried about pinching them out, just use a pair of little snippers. Just go in, identify the side shoot and give them a nip. Some side shoots are a bit bigger than others. Now here's quite an interesting one. If you look here, this here looks like a side shoot. It's actually got a little yellow flower on. Now that's the flower where tomatoes develop. So make sure you're not taking them out. This one here is a side shoot, so I'm just going to nip that one out there. Because it's in a delicate place, I'm just going in with the nippers, making sure I've got it. And nip it out. Okay, and that's pretty much side shooting. Now I've got a problem. I've run out of garden space and I want to grow some beet, but I want to start them as soon as possible now. So what I've done is put them in trays, just in these little plugs. And when they're big enough, I can just pop them out of these plugs and put them straight into the garden. That's a plan anyway. So those are my beet, which I've just planted today. Popped them in the ground now, covered them up with a little bit of extra compost. Just give them a light watering. That's all they need. Okay, and hopefully they'll germinate soon. Now I have been known in the past to poke a little bit of fun towards the legend Monty Don. But reality is a guy who I really respect, and I think some of the advice that he gives out, tips, are absolutely brilliant. And this is one of Monty Don's that I'm going to show you now. This is a apple tree, and what I'm going to do round the bottom of it is just add some mulch. And it's the mulch that gives the fruit trees a real hit of what they're looking for. They're ericaceous, so it's not nitrogen, it's more carbon that they're looking for, and you get that from the wood chip. I'll show you this now, and very shortly I'll show you when I've finished it. There we are, and it's as simple as that. So again, thanks to Monty. Hello. Now another great tip that Monty's given recently is to always tie things up before they need tying up. So at the moment this tomato doesn't really need to be tied up, but if I tie it now, it doesn't force it into positions it doesn't want to go later. Okay, so that's tying up. So I'll tie these tomatoes all the way up the sticks, possibly every 9-12 inches up, right to the top. If you see on the tomato it's got flowers, it's those flowers when they drop off form the tomatoes, and each of the flowers come out on a little stem known as a truss. You can see it a little bit better there, that's a truss. Now when you get to about 6 trusses, you should be towards the top of the sticks, and it's then when you pinch the tops out of the tomatoes. Obviously these aren't big enough at the moment, so I'll show you that in a future episode. Now last night for our evening meal we had delicious fresh salmon and lettuce, and we took a lettuce from there. The lettuces are just absolutely brilliant at the minute, and they're possibly some of the best I've ever grown. But on opportunity, there's a space there. What am I going to do? One of those is going to come out and go in there. And that's another example of succession gardening. As soon as something comes out, put something back in to replace it. And at that stage you're absolutely maximising all of your garden space. And as I'm walking past, that's the first of this year's courgettes. Lovely flower and a little courgette there. And a little bit further back we've got our first flower on a French bean, a dwarf one. Summer is coming. Now there's 2 types of seed planting for me. These are really quite small seeds and I could just scatter them, but I'm going to give it a go at just placing them. So I'm just going to literally pop one down, put another down, and these are pak choi. We grew some of these earlier in the year and they were absolutely gorgeous, and I want to repeat that success now with some more pak choi. And there we are, back in the packet, and now back into your seed box so you can protect them from any dampness, and you've got them through again. And when you're finished, a little bit more compost just over the top very lightly. Spread it out very, very carefully. Very lightly press it down so that the soil is definitely touching the seed, and then a very light, and that was a bit heavy actually, watering. And then the best way to get good germination is to place them in a warm greenhouse, and they should be up in about a week. greatest crop ever? No. But digging your early veg is not about quantity, it's about quality. And are they full quality? Absolutely. Better than any supermarket vegetables ever, I guarantee you. And what to do with the carrot tops? Food for the wormery? Hell yeah, they're gonna love those. And what else could we use the carrot tops for? Liquid fertiliser? Hell yeah, let's get them in. And just to make the meal absolutely perfect, some freshly cut mint. Wow, absolutely lovely. And all washed down with a glass of slow wine. Living the life. And you thought that was it. There's a little bit more yet. I'm in the greenhouse. I'm just going to give the greenhouse a quick water before I finish for the evening. Now I've just had a cunning plan. If we can get all of our YouTube watchers to go to Facebook, which I'm sure you know, and just type in Gardening 365 and apply to be a member of our Facebook group. Easy done. And those people on Facebook who are watching, if you could go across to YouTube and subscribe to that, imagine how big our group could be with really nice people who've got one common interest. I think that would be great. Now then, what I need to do now is to get back to watering, and I'll be back with you shortly. Now that really does conclude Gardening 365 54. Again, thank you ever so much to everybody who contributes in any sort of way. It really is appreciated. Well, from me, thank you, you guys are great. And we'll see you next time for Gardening 365 55, nearly my age. Bye. Back to work tomorrow.